Hey y'all, so I want to do a quick walkthrough of the garden right now as it is spring and things are slowly waking up, but we are not in the full-fledged summer yet. So the garden is not at its full potential, but I like to see where it's at before, you know, it really gets to that point. And I may not be super in depth about some things because I don't want to make this too long, and y'all know I love to talk and ponder and take my time with the garden. But this is just going to be a nice, smooth walkthrough. So, starting here on the first row, this is where my tomato plants are that I grew from seed in the mini greenhouse. I have three, and I've also sowed some bush snap green beans. Here is one of my compost piles, but I'll also be planting nasturtiums around it, which is why I have the cardboard around it to suppress some weeds. This is just a beautiful bunch of canna lily. Here we start to get an eye on some of the wildflowers, like the yarrow and the coreopsis that grows around the garden. Both of those are natives to this area of North Carolina. Back there in those terracottas, I had some calendula seeds that I planted last year. We'll see if the few that popped up and may have dropped from the plant come back. And that little basket back there peeping out is one of the irises that I was gifted. That little thing is just a little bee watering station that I try to keep filled up with water. But the cats end up using it for their drinking station. But here are my herb baskets. So in the one on the left, we have my beautiful rosemary bush, and peeping underneath it is also some lemon balm. And right beside it in that basket is all spearmint. Journeying down in that basket is another one of my irises that I was gifted. This one did bloom this year, which is my first time seeing irises bloom, and they were so gorgeous. All of this bountiness is likely echinacea. I'm hoping it's not echinacea from the seeds that dropped from the plants last year, and a little bit of yarrow mixed in there. In this basket here, there's nothing planted there yet. I haven't decided what herb specifically I want to plant there because with all the flowers, this basket kind of just gets covered. So I want to choose some herbs that are going to be okay with being in the shade. In this circle here are where I have my elephant ears, and all the way going down here are the elephant ears that I've just spread like wildflower. But I love elephant ears and like monsteras. Those are like my two favorite plants. Here is where I will be planting my peanuts and cucumbers. Here is my strawberry container beds. This strawberry container has sage with it, and the other one over here has thyme with it. And I've picked some red strawberries off from this one already, and there's one almost ready to go too. These are really sweet. These are from transplants, and I've been slowly building up my tiers. I have more of these tiers from Dollar Tree. This container has nothing in it because I want to replace this plastic storage bin with another one of these metal bins. So I'm just waiting on that. Waiting to find another one of those metal bins and buy it so I can replace it. Now this is my double bed. I wanted to do my cantaloupe arch with the cattle panel, but because I still have my fall arugula in here going to seed, because I want to save all this abundant of seeds. I'm only going to be planting cantaloupe in this one side, and just letting it crawl. Look at those bees. They're buzzing away, honey. Now at the end of this bed, it is more of the canna lily, and this is the pokeweed that grows in this spot as well. I gotta move fast because my phone is dying. I'm on 10%. Back here, we have my elderberry bush that I grew, that I planted from a bare root plant from Walmart. This was an old bush that was dying. It just kept dying. So I chopped it down and made this little compost pile. And while we're back here, I'll show y'all my fig tree. This is my fig tree, but as y'all can see, it just looks like a stick. It has not came back yet this year. So I'm a little nervous about that. But hopefully he's just waking up a little late. This is my mini greenhouse. I just moved it back to the spot. It wasn't another spot on this row, but I moved it down here, and I'll be putting some sunflowers in pots that I want to take to the farmer's market. I just want to go ahead and get them started because you're really not supposed to start sunflowers until about May. But as I walk to the sunflower patch, y'all can see that we have sunflowers already because these are from seeds that dropped from my sunflowers last year. And they are just getting big already. Just so beautiful. I love my sunflowers. They're just gorgeous. Here is my grapevine that has some little grapes on it and lots of flies. Let's get them off. Trying to get them off, y'all. Alright, I can't get them off right now. There we go. My grapevine. There's 1 and 2 plants. This one had got sprayed by some Roundup when that ditch was getting sprayed, not by me, but other folks, and it died back a lot. So this one has been just having a good old time. And I also have some pinto beans in here from the grocery store that I like to plant as a cover crop to add some nitrogen into the soil to support the plant. Here is my onion and garlic bed. I overwintered my garlic, but a lot of them just didn't make it. So, like some of these big tall boys, most of these big tall boys are garlic, but the rest of them are some onions from bulb sets that I planted. This is where I did have that mini greenhouse that I showed y'all. I did have my tomato plants and stuff in here that I started from seed this season, but I had the tarp down underneath the mini greenhouse so that I can easily pull up this grass and sow some wildflower seeds, because I want to have some flowers on this area like I have in the other area. Here is where I'll be planting my watermelons, which I'm really excited about. I'm planting my watermelons from all Save Seeds, from local watermelons that I've brought in, and watermelons that have been gifted from me from local friends. So I'm really excited about that. Here is my blueberry bush, and I'll get up close to this one because he's so little. Yeah, we do have little blueberries on him. I love that. And this bed is where I'll be doing my corn, and I'll actually be sowing that with the Three Sisters method with corn, spaghetti squash, and pinto beans. More pinto beans from the grocery store. And I haven't set up my milkweed garden yet, but I have a 4x4 aluminum raised bed, which is my first raised bed that I've ever actually purchased. If y'all can't tell, all of my raised beds are made from salvaged bricks and pieces of wood from around the house. But I finally purchased my first raised bed, which is a 4x4 aluminum raised bed that I caught on sale at Tractor Supply. So it'll be going in this spot for my milkweed garden, aka my monarch, or pollinator specific garden. I have milkweed, and I also have some other pollinator specific seeds that I'll be growing. And in this middle row, we're getting there, but I want this middle row to be as long as the other beds. So that's the beginning of that, or the front row. And this is where my milkweed container will be. So I want this middle row to be all, I think, apple trees. I may decide to add in a few other fruit trees, but I think I'm going with all apple trees with my grow bags, which is where I put my potatoes in every year. I only grow my potatoes in grow bags or containers because it's a lot easier than fussing with digging them up in ground. So in my grow bags, I have my potatoes that I did plant from seed potatoes. And throughout, I have some marigolds. These marigolds I caught on sale on clearance at Lowe's because they were looking a little sad, but I put them in this ground with a little bit of compost manure, and they've been looking pretty well still. More potatoes. This one, I think the dog, when he dug it up, he may have took the whole potato out, but that's okay because I'm gonna empty this whole bag out, and I have more potatoes that I chitted and in the barn, so I just have to replace it when I plant the rest of those potatoes. And the potatoes that I'm growing are Kenbeck white potatoes. Those have done pretty well for me, so I went with those again. This spot, I was gonna plant some of those marigolds when I brought them, but there's a little ant pile here, so I have some marigold seeds that I'll just be sowing there. This is my dwarf red delicious apple tree. I got that from my local Ace Hardware on sale at the end of the fall last year. More of those marigolds that I caught on sale. More potatoes. These two are my red skin potatoes that I started from 2 potatoes from the grocery store that we already had in the house, and I just let it develop some roots. In this bag I have some canna lily from the plant over there that I had dug some of it up because it was growing into my double beds over there, so I pulled that up and put it in the bag. Canna lily is really great. It's a really great trap crop in my garden for Japanese beetles, so I tried to save every piece that I could because the Japanese beetles are probably the number one pest that attacks the garden in the summertime. So if something's going to be a nice home for them other than the things that I'm trying to grow for food, I love it. More potatoes. This is an apple tree that was technically a bare root from Tractor Supply, and it has been having a tough time, but I've gave it my DIY liquid fertilizer. It has slow release in the hole when I planted it, and of course manure. So I think he's gonna make it. He's just, having a tough time catching on. And more potatoes. So yes, I told y'all this is gonna be a quick tour because I didn't want to make it too long because I gotta get inside and start dinner. But that is my garden space, y'all. My backyard garden. And I love my garden space.